see, and it will be posted on YouTube, which quite frankly, a lot of people are watching and sending comments in on. Please stay seated for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Clerk Wright, could you please call the roll?
I sure will. Let's start with Trustee Frazier.
Here.
Trustee Miller.
Here.
Trustee Boyden. Okay.
Here.
Trustee Martin.
Here in Van Buren Township.
Van Buren Township for me too.
Are you
Me
guys
too.
in Van Buren Township?
Me too.
Treasurer Bud.
Here, Van Buren Township.
Clerk Leon Wright here in Van Buren Township. Supervisor.
Here in Van Buren Township.
We have a quorum in full effect.
Thank you, Clerk. I'm going to step away from our usual agenda for a second here. We have today the Honorable Sumter Township Supervisor, Tim Bowman. Tim's a new supervisor in Sumter. He's a former contractor, and over the last few months, we have been reaching out to each other and our deputies, Dan Selman and his Al O'Connell, who's also, I believe, here, to try and figure out ways that we can work together. We have formed up a small working group that we are trying to bring some things forward, and hopefully those things will work out. But I'd like to, but the supervisor wanted to come today and introduce himself to us. And I am very, very honored in introducing Sumter Township Supervisor Tim Bowman. Hi, Tim.
Hello, Kevin. How are you doing? And thanks everybody for allowing me to introduce myself. My name is Tim Bowman. I'm currently the supervisor of Sumter Township. I really look forward to working with Van Buren Township, with Kevin and everybody, to try to work together and make both places a better place to live. My intentions when I came into office was to try to bring revenue and better Sumter Township. I've been a contractor in both areas. I do a lot of work in Van Buren Township as well as Sumter Township. And my plans are to just make a better township for us. I mean, bring local work and revenue to the township for the residents of Sumter Township and make it a better place to live.
Well, we're tickled pink, and we are trying to figure out ways to work together. We had Sumter took the lead in putting forward a resolution for communities of interest so that we can hopefully form our own legislative district. Would anybody like to say anything to Supervisor Bowman?
To Supervisor, I'd just like to say welcome aboard, and we look forward to working with you and making our communities a better place.
Well, I appreciate that from all of you guys, and I look forward to working with everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. You're yeah, it's a blessing to have you down there. And Ella is wonderful. Does Ella want to say anything?
Ella, are you there?
I am here. Hi there.
Hi.
Sorry for the light. I apologize for that.
Okay.
That's okay.
So, Ella, your deputy supervisor, did you want to say anything now?
I just also want to introduce myself. I've been at Sumter for about 18 months as a finance director and now serve Supervisor Bowman as his deputy. And I am just so excited to work together and start a whole new era of kind of this community that we have, this tri-community area that we have together. So if anybody ever needs anything, don't hesitate to reach out.
And I know it's totally awesome. She does a lot for me.
Yeah, and it's nice to talk to people that say, yeah, let's see how we can make this work. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
And Tim, it's always good to have a good woman behind you.
Like they say, though, you're only as good as the woman behind you.
Yes, exactly.
Or with you, I should say, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, I'm going to leave you to go to your next event, which do you want to tell anybody what it is?
my daughter, they filed a COVID thing. They put a delay on marriage license. they only last so long. And theirs, unfortunately, is going to run out before June 12th when they're scheduled to get married. So I have the pastor showing up this evening at our house to officially marry my daughter and my son-in-law, my son-in-law to be, and then we have the real thing on June 12th.
So it's a surprise wedding? Never heard of that.
That's something like that, yeah. Yeah, but can't
know-
wait.
Congratulations.
Well, good luck and congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you, Al. Thanks, everybody.
Very nice to meet everyone. Thank you for your time this evening.
Bye, everybody. Bye,
Yeah.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll move back into the executive summary. We have a usual consent agenda, and on that is our usual tax rate request. The tax rate request was produced by the assessor, Linda Stevenson. It is the same as it was before. We have not raised the taxes here since we've taken administration 5 years ago, and it's been slightly reduced for Tedley. There are correspondence and announcements. Of course, you met with Mr. Bowman and Earl O'Connell. We are then going to be saying goodbye to Linda Stevenson after 32 years. We have new business today, which is discussion of resolution requests that the redistricting commission keep the city of Belleville, Sumter Township, and the great township of Van Buren together in one district. We're going to be talking about a possible reopening of the senior building, small opening, and we're going to be discussing the building of the community center and the final recommendation to send it to the people for approval, basically to start putting it on paper. And the last thing is we have a mobile station that's rebuilding at Hagerty and I-94, and they want to put a drive-through in there. So moving on, I have adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Supervisor, I make a motion, we adopt the agenda as presented.
Okay.
Support.
Okay. Hearing no discussion, Clerk Wright, would you call the roll?
Yes, trustee Miller,
Yes.
trustee Frazier,
Yes.
trustee Martin,
Yes.
trustee Boyden,
Yes.
treasurer Bud.
Yes.
Yes for me, supervisor.
Yes,
Motion passed.
thank you. Trustee Frazier, would you make the consent agenda motion, please?
I make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Okay.
You got to read it.
Yeah, your rule.
Point of order. You have to read it.
Okay. Adoption of the consent agenda, board meeting minutes, May 18th, 2021. Prepaid list of May 20th, 2021. Prepaid list of May 27th, 2021. Voucher list of June 1st, 2021, and approval of resolution 2021-15, 2021 tax rate request.
Support.
Okay. Being a consent agenda, I hear no discussion. Clerk Wright, could you call the roll?
Trustee Martin,
Yes.
trustee Boyden,
Yes.
trustee Miller,
Yes.
trustee Frazier,
Yes.
treasurer Bud.
Yes.
Yes for me, supervisor McNamara.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay. All right, next item is public hearing, which we have none. We move into correspondence, announcements, and presentations. I'm going to start off with Linda Stevenson because she's here. So if you could bring her on. Let's see, Linda Stevenson's been with us for 32 years. She's had a life that she has dedicated to this community. She's been so much and more to the residents and the government than just being an assessor, which I say just an assessor. She is passionate about numbers and assessing and the theory, and constantly striving to take that to a science level that's higher and higher. She's established such a trusting relationship, not only with the government here, the public, but I mean, I constantly mention the fact that people come into the assessor's office because they're angry usually. They're not usually pretty happy people. But I can never recall once, ever, seeing somebody walk out of our office after talking to Linda. It's just amazing. I mean, they're not, not dancing, but they understand that somebody cared about them and took care of it. And I personally, Linda, thank you so much, because I don't think I could have done this job. I depend upon you for the legacy and the knowledge of the people we talk about, and what happened and where it happened, and you just got such a solid knowledge of what's right and wrong, and you keep me hopefully on the good side of that. So, but thank you very much for your time here. We did give her a beautiful, yep, show it. Yay. Gave her a plaque, something she could put quietly on her mantle. She doesn't have to hang it on a wall. It's kind of attractive, so we like that. Would anybody else like to speak? Treasurer Bud?
I guess I've known Linda since the day she walked through the door. And it's always been my pleasure to work with her and to watch her grow as she's learned her job, and now she's more up and really knows what's going on, and she will be missed. And personally, Linda, I will miss you, and it was always nice being with you.
Guess I go next. Linda, we talked a little bit on Friday, but like I said, from day one, I met you. You've always been tier one, respectful, very knowledgeable, very professional. I mean, you know your job, and that's what it takes to do anything. It would be to know your job for one thing and be good at it. You're good at it. Not only that we know who you are, but I've heard things about you from other municipalities and or other people around the state. So when you hear stuff like that from other people, that's what those things validate the work that you do. We can say it, but when you hear it from your peers, you know you're doing something right. So I just want to say I wish you all the best in your retirement, and you're going to be missed. I just like to get that youth secret before you leave. You can pass that along. It'll be fine. It'll be good. You don't have to share it with nobody else, just me.
No keeping secrets, Leon.
The suspense is killing me.
I've always joked, Linda, about never aging. I've never seen nobody that never ages. She just never ages. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Through the supervisor, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart and from the community that we appreciate the job that you have done and made us a top-notch community. With your leadership, it was very important, and you guided us through a lot of different crises. And we're really going to miss you. It's not too late to reconsider.
So I had the over-under in the office pool when Linda would be back, and she walked in today. So I win.
Well, I have to say I spent my first day of retirement cleaning and washing walls and moving rocks outside and moving some dirt. And I don't know, I may be back. That's kind of a tough day of work, but I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the support I've had over the years to let me continue on and get my education and continue with the assessing. I got a phone call. In fact, I got 2 phone calls today from fellow assessors just to see how I was doing on my first day of retirement. And I realized that, man, am I an assessor? That's all I know what to talk about when I'm talking to these people. So I'm going to have to learn something new. And truthfully, if I wasn't so old, I'd give you guys another 32 years. But it's time for me to step down and figure out some different things with my life right now. So, but I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate this lovely paperwork. And I am sure that I will see all of you around in the community throughout the summer. So,
You're the best, Linda. It's going to
thank
be
you.
hard to fill your shoes.
We
You're
can't,
very loved.
we won't be able to fill them, but we'll give it our best.
She's a legend.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that anybody can come in and do a good job, but they might not be able to find my filing system. That might be it. So,
That's only because you've done such a super job for Van Buren Township. So we appreciate you and wish you the best.
Okay.
Through the chair,
well,
Supervisor,
oh, sorry, Trustee Martin.
that's okay. Linda, congratulations on your retirement. And yes, your shoes are going to be hard to fill, but you have tutored two very capable young ladies, Gina and Hannah. And I think they would do well. And I hope that they can call you anytime if they have a problem or question. And I thank you for mentoring them and for your service to the township. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna let you go, Linda.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Don't steal that camera. It's the best camera in the place. All right, thanks a lot. Moving on. Excuse me, I have other announcements I'm supposed to make. First of all, I want to say thank you to Sumter Township and everybody, the 8 fire departments that came to our aid when we had a fire over there at the apartments. And I have sent out letters on behalf of the board to Van Buren, to Romulus, Sumter Township, Belleville, Canton, Pittsfield Township, Ypsilanti Township, the Red Cross, and the Belleville Fire Auxiliary, all thanking them for their help. I mean, it was a big blaze. Luckily, nobody got hurt. So just want to bring that up. What else is there? Oh, do you have the ladies of Bell Point? Yep. So the ladies of Bell Point would like to acknowledge and say thank you to Sergeant Alexander Schultz of the Van Buren Township Police Department for it was an outstanding safety presentation. He was at their meeting this past Friday. All of our ladies had nothing but good remarks when the meeting was over, such as Sergeant Schultz was very kind, informative, patient, and oh yeah, he was easy on the eyes. So congratulations, Sergeant Schultz, and thank you from the ladies of the Bell Point. That was really nice. It's nice getting letters like that.
Yeah.
I also got a letter from another lady who just wanted to commend Chris Schluto. Chris Schluto is in charge of our DPW groups in the way he resolved an issue with my sister's headstone at Denton Cemetery. I have heard problems with the cemeteries. I've been in the cemeteries. We have been working diligently for 3 years on these cemeteries. Those cemeteries look better now than they've looked. They look spectacular.
Agreed.
Better.
Mhm.
But anyway, she discovered that there was a cemetery fencing that was painted black last year, and that some of the black paint got onto the headstone. She called the township and she talked to Chris, and the next day Chris got people out there and himself, and they got the black off the tombstone. It's nice to get letters like this acknowledging that the things were taken care of quickly. If you have time, drive through these cemeteries. They are looking way better. It's taken 3 years to do it, and they've got a ways to go, but they're looking better. Okay. Lastly, I want to state that we are having some slight issues with some mowing, which is affecting some of our cemeteries. The problem is that our contractors are having difficulty hiring people. They are fixing the problem. They are training new people, and hopefully these will be temporary problems. The good contractors have always had our back, so we're going to have their back while they try and solve their little problems. So that's all I got. Does anybody else have any announcements, clerk?
Yes, I have a short one. I'd just like to thank Bob and Marie Krause for doing what they do every Memorial Day, which is place flags in our beautiful cemeteries that you're talking about. It's good to see that they're being overhauled because we've been talking about them for a while. So it's a good thing. they say we want to get to be a premier community. One of the things is you got to have good cemeteries and good schools. So those things that got to be worked on. But yeah, I'd just like to thank those two for, I know they've been doing it ever since I've been clerk, and I'm sure Sherry Bud, they've been doing it much longer than that. So just like to give them a big thanks and for their continuous dedication to our cemetery.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements? Hearing none, we're going to move on down. Next item is public comment for any unfinished business or new business. Moderator, is there anybody in the public that wishes to comment today?
Good evening, Supervisor. I'm not seeing any at this time.
Okay. Next item is new business, which is consider a resolution for the Michigan for the Redistricting Commission. Is there anybody who wants to make this motion?
Through the chair, I would
Commissioner Bud.
make a motion
Could you read
that,
it? Yeah.
that we approve resolution 2021-14 to request that the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission keep the city of Belleville, Van Buren Township, and Sumter Township together in their redistricting plan.
Support.
Thank you. Okay. Deputy Supervisor Selman, do you want me to handle this? Actually, we discussed it earlier. I think I'm going to handle it. Oh, there you are. Do you want me to handle it or not?
So I'll see if you have anything comes in.
Okay, so I think it's 2 days from now, Thursday, I'll be going to Dearborn to present the 3 resolutions from Belleville, Sumter, and Van Buren Township to the Redistricting Commission. I'm basically going to talk about the fact that we share a school system, we share a library board, we share use of the Belleville Area Museum. We have joint planning commission meetings with Belleville and Sumter. We're going to talk about our groups like Rotary and the Chamber of Commerce, who call themselves the Belleville Area Chamber, and the Belleville Area Rotary, and the Belleville Area Council of the Arts. I'm going to talk about the median income being close, very within $1,000 of each other between Sumter. Our racial makeup is almost dead on. If you go up, top to bottom, our demographics are the same. We think of ourselves as being the same. Our families are intertwined. Our cemeteries have each of our families in them. And we all share a newspaper, the Belleville Area Independent. So we all recognize that that's what we are. Hopefully they'll recognize that. Any other ideas, give them to me and I'll bring them up to them too. Okay?
Through the chair,
Yes.
if you could explain, Supervisor, what this will mean for the area and what position this will affect.
Okay, so up until now, we have been represented by I think we have one Congressman, Debbie Dingell, and then we have one senator, of course, but from the federal government. We'd like the future to be one Congresswoman, whether that's Debbie or whoever it is, we should be one. So we're not split up. We are split though, I think by Senate, and I know we're split by state representative. State representative, we've got Garza, who represents half of Van Buren Township. We have Curie, who represents the other half. And then we have another gentleman who I don't even know who represents Sumter. And if I heard the name, I know I heard it. But they've always had these 3 reps breaking our area up. And unfortunately,
It's Camarillo, ain't it? Camarillo. I think it's Camarillo or something like that.
Camilleri, yes, you're right.
Camarillo.
Yeah.
That's not him.
Okay, well, at any rate.
Look for Sumter, Kevin. For Sumter. Maybe it's not.
Trustee
I'll
Martin.
tell you in a minute. I'll tell you in a minute.
And then you tell me in a minute. But long story short, what you end up happening is that you have Puri, who represents 70,000 people or 80,000 people in Canton, and maybe 20,000 of the 30,000 in Van Buren Township. So when there's an issue,
Maybe a young lady.
to be exploited, Canton's going to get the bulk of it. Peary's an excellent guy. I love him, and I'd be happy to keep him. But it's just the logistics of numbers, and that goes for the other guy, Raza. Oh God, I'm so bad. Garza. He's in Taylor, which has 60, 70,000 people, and then he has to represent 25,000, I think, in Romulus, and then he's got 10,000 in Van Buren. Who do you think is going to get the bell work of the notice? It's going to be them. This is the way it's gone for our area for the last 30 years. And then we've got the guy down, what is his name, Trustee Martin?
The gentleman's name is Joseph Bellino.
Joe Bellino. Yep.
I believe he's out of Monroe County. So,
probably.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got 90,000 people somewhere else and 8,000 people or so in Sumter. So, it's not like we're really getting noticed. Together, though, we form about, close to 50,000 people. It was 45,000 people. That'd be 50% of a representative district. We literally could run a hometown candidate and get somebody that really takes a notice of our area instead. And so that's where I'm going. I don't think we're going to lose. I think we're going to lose Peary. He's in Canton. It's a natural district on its own. So it's
we'll see what happens. All right.
Through the chair, Canton is also split up too. So, a lot of these cities are split, districts. Canton has 2 reps too.
Mm-hmm.
They do, but they're a natural district in 94. I
agree with you, but I'm just saying that they're broken up also.
Yeah, it pretty much you're going to find all the Democratic districts were broken up. So, yeah. Okay, so does anybody want to make any further comments on this? Hearing no. Clerk, I guess we're ready to roll with a vote.
Yeah. Okay, so Trustee Boyne.
Don, your mic's on.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
Trustee Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Frazier.
Yes.
Yes for me. Treasurer Bud.
Yes.
Supervisor McNair.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right. Next item is the discussion on and to consider approval of a Van Buren Senior Center reopening plan.
Supervisor, I make a motion on the discussion on and to consider approval of the Van Buren Township Senior Center June 2021 reopening plan.
Support.
Okay. Director Renaud, never said that before.
Good evening, board. Director Jordan is also with us here. So we are here tonight to discuss the approval of the Van Buren Township Senior Center reopening plan. So as COVID restrictions are reduced across the state, the Department of Community Services is recommending that the Van Buren Township Senior Center is reopened on a reduced programming basis. We've had senior center members since the beginning of the pandemic reaching out to us, eager to reopen, and we finally believe that we can do so in a safe manner. So I'd like to briefly take you through our proposed reopening plan. So there will be reduced programming and class scheduling starting the second week of June if approved. Programs will only take place between the hours of 10 and 3, which is where our building is open currently to the public. Participants will have to pre-register for programs. No drop-ins will be allowed. A maximum level of participants will be enforced per class, depending on the location. So for example, there'd be a maximum of 20 participants for the dining room. Interested individuals would be able to call and pre-register over the phone. Registrations would be taken on a first come, first served basis. In addition, senior center memberships will not be charged during 2021 due to COVID-19 and the limited programming, but there would be fees for individual classes just like usual. So as far as some COVID-19 procedures, the Senior Center would coordinate with the daily screeners to provide the list of the day's class participants. The participants of the classes would enter through the main entrance doors. They would be screened and a face mask will be required, just as other visitors. Participants for any fitness classes they might be in, they would need to bring their own fitness equipment. And individuals would have to exit the building immediately when the class is finished. We would also, between department staff, community services department, each of the class areas would be sanitized between programs by our staff. So our programming plan will continue our current programs that we've already had going during COVID-19, Meals on Wheels, Forgotten Harvest, food distribution, and Focus Hope. But our proposed plan is beginning in 2 weeks, Monday, June 14th. We would open the doors on a reduced basis. So there would be an addition of 1 to 2 classes per day between the hours of 10 and 3 in the dining room. And then beginning July 1st, as long as everything was going well, there would be 2 to 5 classes per day during the hours of 10 and 3 occurring in the dining room, craft room, or lounge. And I included a sample schedule in the board packet for an example of how we would get the classes going. So is there any questions on the proposed plan?
Through the chair,
Treasurer Bud?
what are your plans for other people that want to wander into the building when you are only scheduling classes?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. So we would coordinate with the screeners and make sure that they understood that only the class participants that were pre-registered would be able to enter the building.
Thank you.
So through the chair, with these notices and what you just read here and what you went through, this will be posted on our website, I'm sure. All the rules and the reopening of that center. And I'm just happy to say that I know it's been a long time coming and our seniors really have wanted this for a while now, but we had to do it in a way that we can keep everyone safe. And I'm just so looking forward to seeing people back in that center. So glad that's opening up in June.
Through the chair,
Look, right?
I just got one question. So would the participants be coming through the front door?
Yes, so we want to
Okay.
maintain only one access point to the building because of the current status. So we would enter in the main entrance doors only.
Okay.
The chair, I'd just like to thank Elizabeth and Lynette for, keeping things going and coming up with a plan that will benefit our residents.
Okay, are there any other discussion? I have a motion. Trustee Bud, Treasurer Bud, did you have a question?
No, I was just going to say I have some concerns because we haven't brought staff back and everything for the senior center to be open. I still have concerns that I'm not sure cleaning up afterwards. I think there's a lot of things that haven't been discovered yet, or who's going to do all this. So I have concerns about them coming back. I would feel better, I think, if they would wait till July 1st, till after we decided what we were going to do about bringing the rest of the house back in. So I have concerns. I will support what everybody else says, but for right now, I do not think that's a real good idea.
It's a limited reopening, so that's kind of the biggest reason I'm supporting it, so.
We haven't brought anybody else back full time, and I think there's still.
I have one more question. So how are we going to handle the, I mean, I know people are getting vaccinated but we still have protocols. And I share some of the concerns Treasurer Bud share. I know everybody was ready to get back to normal, but we still got to make sure that the protocols has got to be met. I mean, the elderly are still the most vulnerable. So how are we going to do regarding the vaccine part? Or are they going to make sure they vaccinated? Are they the ones that not vaccinated? Are they going to are their precautions going to be used for the ones that is not? Because in that case, I mean, I'm sure most seniors are vaccinated, but we know that they all are not. So how are they going to be handled?
So the same protocols will be in place whether or not they're vaccinated. The same mask guidelines, the same protocols that we're using throughout the rest of the building. We'll be able to share information to those who aren't vaccinated on where they can get vaccinated if they're interested, but we will not be mandating that they're vaccinated.
So through the chair.
Oh, go ahead.
So Treasurer Bud brought up some points that I weren't aware that wasn't addressed before today.
Oh, it was. They were.
Well, not here, not with us, not with all of us, Kevin. So how are you going to cover the areas that need to be cleaned and sanitized? And do you have the staff to accommodate what we have in place, even if it is in limited capacity?
Right.
Let's address some of these concerns that she has, because I don't want people to feel not secure here.
So the Department of Community Services staff, along with Public Services, will be managing the sanitizing and cleaning of the areas. For the areas that are programmatic, the ones that we're doing programs and classes in, we'll use our staff as well as part-time staff to sanitize between each class. And then our normal custodial staff will be cleaning the restrooms per usual.
And the fitness equipment, will that be in use, or are we limiting that?
So we're not going to open the fitness center as part of the limited reopening plan as of right now, because it's not a structured program. We're just keeping it to structured programs and classes as of now.
And
Okay.
the structured programs are where they're going to bring their own mats and their own stuff and take it with them when they leave.
Correct.
All right.
To the chair, I think it's important that we offer these services, and I appreciate the planning that's gone into this. And I'm sure that we'll be able to oversee it. And if they can't, I'm sure that they'll pull it back. So I have confidence in it.
I'm actually thankful that you're going to let us do a limited opening so that we can start figuring out what works and what doesn't work.
And do you have the staff to cover everything that needs to be done, Director Renault?
Yes, we have worked it out between community services and partnering with public services, and we feel confident that we have adequate staff.
All right, we have confidence in you, so I'm okay with this. So I'm ready to move forward.
Yeah, Kevin,
Through the chair.
to the chair. Go ahead.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Mr. Martin and then Mr. Wright.
As far as the cleaning and sanitizing, are they going to be trained by someone to do it? And what is the frequency of the sanitation?
So Building and Grounds has been maintaining the sanitization of the building throughout the pandemic. So we'll be working with Matt Best and Chris Schluto to get anyone trained on any of the sanitization procedures that will need to take place.
What would be the frequency of the
So we'll
cleaning?
definitely be sanitizing between classes before a new group comes in. If we need to do it more frequently, we will.
And that includes door handles and common areas that people touch all the time.
Frequently touched spaces as well, correct.
Thank you.
Clerk Wright.
Yeah, I just want to indicate, I just want to let Director Renault and Director Jordan know, I'm not against senior services. I just want to make sure that during this pandemic that we open, if you're going to open it up, just open up correctly and safely, because we know that, I understand seniors, just like everyone else is having issues with confinement, and they need to get out and gravitate towards other seniors. But we want to make sure we don't start something that's going to cause that we're going to regret later. If it's not controlled correctly, it could be something easily that we wish we never done. So that's my concern, I'm sure, along with Treasurer Bud. Just we make sure we do it right, because we haven't came back yet. But it sounds like you have the staff under control. Just make sure that keep an eye on it.
Absolutely. Our first
Through
goal is
the
to keep everyone safe.
One more question, if I may. When will this open up? I see here that you're starting classes mid-June, so what's the first thing that's going to open and when in June?
So our proposed plan is opening for about 1 to 2 classes starting June 14th. And then we'll add a few classes as July starts.
All right, thank you.
To the supervisor, I just like to say I have full confidence in Ms. Renault, and that they wouldn't be proposing this unless they thought they could do it in a safe and proactive way. They're trying to
Agreed.
serve the residents.
Agreed.
Okay. Hearing no further discussion, clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, trustee Frazier,
Yes.
trustee Miller,
Yes.
trustee Martin,
Yes.
trustee Boyne,
Yes.
trustee Bud,
Yes, I will support it with everyone else.
yes for me. Supervisor McNair,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is Clerk Wright, would you please make the next approval motion?
Yes, I will, with great delight.
The
Like to
committee.
make the motion that we had a discussion on and to consider approval for the building of a community center based on the recommendation of the Recreation Committee dated May 11, 2021.
Support.
Okay. All right, Director Best, take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you, board. I apologize. I've got a little bit of a cold, so I'm sounding a little bit lower in the vocal range, so I apologize up front. Today, I'm here to talk to you about the long pathway that we've been on to finally to bring to the Township Board the recommendation of the Recreation Committee to approve a building of a community center. On May 11th, 2021, after several meetings and several public outreach and public forums, the Recreation Committee moved and approved a recommendation that you have in your packet for the Township Board to support the construction of a community center with the following elements: indoor gymnasium, full-size basketball court, indoor walking track, a fitness zone, fitness studio / dance studio, multi-purpose rooms, senior game rooms, party rooms, locker and shower areas, including a family locker room, a lounge waiting area, indoor playscape or play areas, outdoor amenity spaces, a black box theater, significant storage space, community services office space, various necessary infrastructure upgrades, that are included but not limited to a new Township Hall generator replacement, Township Hall fuel pump relocation, and other necessary improvements as listed above. Today, as you may be aware, it is not to approve the actual paying for the construction because we don't know the cost yet. This is to approve us moving forward to start hiring the contractors, moving forward and getting your blessing to do those things. We've already asked your permission as a board to do the design work and the construction oversight with Plant Moran Cressa and Newman Smith, and those contracts are just about ready to be signed. We also have our construction manager RFP, which is currently out on the street. And once the construction manager's in place, we'll be bringing that contract to you, and that'll be the first contract that you'll have where you start approving purchases and contracts related to the construction. So it is now time for the Township Board to consider the approval of building a community center based on the recommendation of the Recreation Committee. The cost is yet to be, the true actual cost is yet to be determined. but I'll share my screen and just show the concept again. Trustee or Clerk Wright asked earlier before the meeting that he wanted to see the
plan.
And now it's disappeared on me. I'll pull it up as we're talking, but as we move forward further down the line, there'll be at every opportunity that we're making large contract approvals, I'll be bringing those to the board. But for right now, if you have any, and I'll show the pictures as soon as I can get them back up, but I'm asking for an approval to move forward. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Through the chair.
Trustee Miller, then Treasurer Bud, I think.
This has been a long time coming, and I'm so excited. And I know the clerk is, as well as Trustee Martin. I do have one question though. I see all these rooms, multi-purpose senior game room, multi-purpose party rooms, lockers and showers. But what I don't see, and I've heard it many times, where is the room for the teen lounge or the teen area? All along we've said we don't have enough for our teens. So where does that part fit in here, Matt?
This is the first that I've heard that there was a specific desire for a teen room in the facility.
A teen lounge, a teen area. And I have brought it up several times, a few times, maybe not several, at the recreation meetings. So it was mentioned. So I thought I'd see it on here. So
I'm going to take it from here for just one quick second. The point of this thing coming to us was because we realized that this thing is an ongoing project. If you want to add in a teen center to the concept, now would be the time.
Well, when I brought it up at the recreation center, I was told, well, this is just what the concept of it. And all those other things will be talked about later on. I have brought it up. So if we're adding it, I thought, well, maybe I would hear tonight that we could take one of these rooms and it can function two ways. But when we initially met, we talked about a teen center or a lounge where our teens can go and visit with their friends or play video games. And I thought maybe one of these multi-purpose rooms would be used for that, but I'm not seeing it here. It has come up.
So to answer your question, the recommendation that's on the list is the recommendation that was made by the Recreation Committee, what they wanted to see. This is what they put together, and that's what they wanted to see.
Based on also input from others who participated and you advertised for, you took into all those comments and considerations.
Correct, but that's if the board wishes to add a youth center or a teen center concept to this, that can be brought up in the design phase, the design schematic phase. There will be a cost to that because we'd be adding space. I don't know what that cost would be off the top of my head, but just because it's on the recommendation from the Recreation Committee, or it's not on there, doesn't mean it's not going to be in there.
Well, when would it go in there? Because last time I was told, well, this doesn't mean it won't be considered. This is just a preliminary. And I thought, okay, great. It'll come up later on. And here we are. I don't want it to be missed.
If Trustee Miller, if you want to have a youth center added to it, we can put that into the design schematic.
I didn't think it would be added to it. I thought it would be included in it. But I'll hear how other board members think at this point in time.
I guess, do we have multiple multi-purpose rooms? I mean, can't they act in several identities? I mean, I think a youth center would be I think it's a great idea, but can we use that? I mean, probably after school that we would have this activity.
Okay, yeah, yes, you can do that. And yes, I actually do recall it being discussed, and we did like the idea. The problem with the idea was that it involved a lot of school input and then transportation It was basically like a latchkey kind of a scenario for teenagers, like Canton's, oh God, what do they call it?
The block. The block.
Yeah, the block.
And we're gonna have a black box theater. I mean, it's not gonna be activities going on in that every single day. And I would think when they are, it's gonna be at night or on weekends,
Mhm.
most likely.
Through the chair. Well,
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you, Trustee Miller. I'm just trying to figure out how it could
this was
be.
supposed to, through the chair. This
Yeah.
was supposed to be a center, a community center that was for everyone. We all had that vision that it covered the entire community, and that included our teens. So, yeah, you can makeshift the cube, but this was supposed to be a lounge where they could go meet with their friends, hang out, play video games. And now it's, I don't know. I'm just really sad that didn't happen.
Through the chair.
We can add it. This is the time to do it.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Director Best.
Once again, I want to stress that this is the recommendation that the Recreation Committee made. And all I'm asking you to do is they've recommended that you build the community center, right? That's what I was brought on to do. If the board wants to see a teen lounge or teen youth center or whatever, we can do that. That's not a problem. But to say I'm sorry that you're disappointed it wasn't on the committees. I'm not in charge.
I'm not saying it's on the committee. I'm putting this on the committee at all.
All I'm saying is we can add it to this. We've worked for the last 4 months with the committee. We've worked with the last year and a half putting this together. If you as a board and Trustee Miller, if you'd like, if this is something you feel strongly about, if you want to add it to the design schematic, we can absolutely do that. We can put it in. It can be in there. There's nothing that prevents that.
Man, I'm not pointing fingers at the Recreation Committee at all. I know what was discussed. I attended every one of those meetings, then some. So I'm sure they wouldn't be disappointed if we added such an important feature.
No, but
to make a community center for all, for everyone in our community. I think it's important. However we do it, and you said, Supervisor, this is the time to plan, then yes, I think it's important. We shouldn't leave them out.
I just want to warn you that every single thing that they design into this has got it's got a capital cost, which is building.
I understand that, but
not a big deal. I mean, we can build buildings all day long. It's just running them. And a teen center has a lot of moving parts. I mean, that thing was funded over in Canton with federal, state, and local school dollars.
It doesn't have to be extravagant.
We can see what we can design. If we can't design something, then we'll call you up and say, hey, we can't figure out how to make this work.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Supervisor.
Mr. Boynton, then I actually Miss Bud was before you, and then Mr. Boynton.
Okay.
My question is, will we see the plans to approve the plans before anything goes any further?
Yes, to answer that question, there's a process that this goes through. There's a design schematic. They're going to be going through the renovated sections of the building that they're going to renovate. They're going to be doing due diligence on the site for the next 2-3 months. Then the design, while that's going on, the architect is going to be designing the plans. And at different parts of the way, we're going to see those and be able to bring those to the board for comments and concerns and questions. We're on a timeline to get this bid out by December, January, so right in there.
Right.
So we're going to be moving relatively quickly to get this done. But yes, nothing is set in stone, as I've been saying since the very beginning. If you want to add something, we can do it. And now's the time to, if we want to add a teen center, we want to add a rock climbing wall, we want to add a fountain, we want to, whatever it is. If you guys want to, if the board would like to do that, we can do that. It's just, it will be designed. The plans will be brought to you. Not only will the board have to approve it, but you'll have to approve the expenditure as when it's time to build it. So there's multiple bites of the apple. Like I also said, just because it's not in the rec committee recommendation doesn't mean we can't do it. You're not approving a construction of building the community center based on that list. It's more approving the recreation center. Then that was their recommendation. So yes, you will see the plans, you'll approve contracts, you'll have multiple bites of the apple.
Okay,
Thank you.
are you all set, trustee Boynton?
No, I just want to make one statement. After hearing that, definitely from Director Best, thank you very much for all that information. Director Renault, thank you for your information and all the work that you all have done. I'm going to put my bid in now for what I want to see in this community center, which will definitely be an advantage for everyone throughout the region itself. And that is to make sure that we design in an emergency plan for some type of incident. No matter what it is, if it's severe weather, if it is a civil unrest situation and we need to put a group of people someplace, that is what I want to see. I'd like to see an emergency plan also developed as well. I know we have time. I don't want you to go into a whole lot. I understand exactly the timeline that we have. I understand that the final plans have not been put out there yet. I get that. I'm good. I want to make sure that we have that emergency action plan, critical infrastructure plan in place for this facility because it is for the betterment of everyone. I know it may be a little expensive, but it should be able to be folded in with all of the other rooms and other facilities that we have inside of the building. That's it. I think you guys are doing a great, wonderful job. I'm the new cat coming in, but that's what my background is, and that's what I want to see in this. I really do. I do not want us to half step on this, and that's that. Thank you very much.
We can do that.
I do have the concept plan if you'd like me to put it up. Just
Yes.
Email it to me. That'll be
Trustee
fantastic.
Martin? No, Trustee Martin, no, Mr. Boynton, I'll talk to you about that, but yes, we will do what you asked. Trustee Martin, did I see your hand up before I lost you?
Yeah, but I'll talk after we look at this plan or whatever.
Yes, sir.
So very briefly, this plan was the original concept that was put out by Newman Smith, and it does not include the black box theater, which is going to be somewhere between the entrance and the gymnasium, somewhere in there. It does not include the team center, which will adjust. It'll continually. It's going to continue. Anything we add is going to push the structure further into where the baseball fields are. It does not cover some of the additional storage items that we've looked at since then that are necessary. And it does not take into account any of the unknowns yet that we have. It does not, while there would be emergency plans for tornadoes and emergencies built into this building, it does not have this current space doesn't have it'll have designated shelters for shelter in place in this facility built in as part of the building plan. But in talking with Trustee Boynton, his some of the things he wants are a little bit different. So we have to, some of those ideas he has are different than that. So we will be talking with Trustee Boynton to get more clarity and then send that to the architect and see what's possible. So like this plan's already kind of out of date, but it's the only one I have because we haven't gotten a new one yet. We haven't designed it officially yet. So if you remember, it has all the spaces that we were already talking about. There's also the biggest item that's going to change will most likely be this outdoor space. Depending on some guidance I'm going to get from Newman Smith will determine how detailed and fancy this gets, or if how many uses we can have for this. We want every space to be as multi-use as possible. The building's going to look, we have a feeling it's going to look very similar to this when it's all said and done, this concept. Those are the items that I had to show. So,
Trustee Martin.
Yes, I would like to, and I was just thinking about this, and now when he showed the drawing, the outdoor area, I was thinking about maybe we could have the residents and businesses purchase a commemorative brick or something to have their name and stuff put on it for a nominal fee, nothing extraordinary fee, but something just to add so people can add their name to this center. This is a monumental undertaking for our township, and I think people may want to see their name in a brick or something, and we could charge a small fee, and I think that would be a nice addition.
Okay, I like that idea.
Good idea.
All right.
A walkway or something like that to the entrance or wherever, they could figure out where to put it, but I think that'd be a nice touch.
Lots of places to put it. Lots of great.
excuse me.
Okay, we have a recommendation from the Parks and Recreation Committee. We would like to add to that one addition that we would like them to explore the use of a teen center within this building. So could I get a modification of that resolution? Clerk Wright.
Well, I really didn't specify anything, but discussion on to consider approval of building of a community center based on the recommendation of Recreation Committee. That could include anything that we want it to be, I think.
Point to the chair, I don't think that this is set in concrete, the recommendations.
No,
We're just approving the to approve to build it.
Yes.
The particulars aren't on the table right now.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, it's not. And so you can add anything you want to it. You'll notice there's no rock wall there, which is about the only thing I asked for 3 times. It convinced me that I'm not getting the rock wall because it's too expensive and it requires too many people to oversee them. So, at any rate, okay. All right. So just make sure they know that we want to explore the teen center. Director Best, please. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I have a motion for approval. I have a second. Hearing no further discussion, Clerk Wright, would you call your roll?
Yes, that's a yes for me. Trustee Bud,
Yes.
Trustee Frazier,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Boyne,
Absolutely.
Supervisor McNair.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, board.
Another step. Yeah, baby steps. Okay, last item is consider approval of a special land use request to construct a drive-through with a drive-through window as part of a demolition of an existing gasoline filling station, the mobile being at Hagerty 994. Can I get a motion for approval?
Through the chair,
Treasurer Bud.
I make a motion that we approve the special land request to construct a drive-through lane with a drive-through window as part of the demolition and existing gasoline filling station and redevelopment of 11250 Hagerty Road, parcel ID 83-051-99-003-002.
Support.
Okay, I heard Frazier first. That's where I'm going. So.
All right.
Power.
Good evening, board. Thank you for having me. I will go right to my screen share so I can jump right in and explain this project. So tonight I have with me Mr. Nasser Choker, who's the design engineer and the applicant for this project. So I'm sure he could speak to it as well once I'm done, but I would like to give some of the project overview and explain what the board's role is tonight and some of the next steps for the project. So what you see in front of you is a proposal to turn the existing mobile gas station, which is includes a 924 square foot small convenience store and 12 pumps for sets of pumps at the existing site, which is just primarily a gas station with a convenience store, and convert that into a redeveloped convenience store that will be significantly larger at 3,395 square feet with 10 set pumps and a drive-through lane for a restaurant that'll be about just about 400 square feet of that floor space inside. So it's an undefined small food service use that will prompt the need for a drive-through here. So to orient you to the site a little bit more, this is a site that's at the northwest corner of the I-94 Service Drive and Hagerty Road at 11250 Hagerty Road.
Oh.
The zoning of the site is C1 General Business District. And under C1 zoning, drive-throughs require a special land use approval from both the Planning Commission and the Township Board. So that's the Township Board's role tonight, is to review the special land use request. This request was brought in front of the Planning Commission on 2 different occasions. At an earlier stage of review in the project, there was a special land use public hearing with the Planning Commission as required under the zoning ordinance back in July of 2020. Then there was some additional design work that was done, and the Planning Commission also reviewed this again in their first meeting in May, which was May 12th of 21. So Planning Commission reviewed both the special land use request and the preliminary site plan request at that time on May 12th, and forwarded a recommendation to approve the special land use to the Township Board. So that's what you have in front of you. When we review special land use requests, there is both a general review of special land use standards, which in the Township zoning ordinance, that's where you look at some of these uses that, while they can fit in a zoning district, they have certain use intensity that prompts a need for us to look at whether the use is consistent with its surroundings, whether it's adequately served by utilities, whether it will be safe, healthy for the inhabitants of the site and the neighbors, whether it will be generally in harmony with the zoning district and other general standards, as well as specific standards. And for drive-through uses, there are specific standards, including that the access has to be there has to be access off of a major thoroughfare. The access driveways have to be at least 100 feet from the intersection. That there is the consideration of the proximity to schools and uses with children, and that there's no off-site illumination of the lights on the site, or especially on residential zoning districts. So those things were also looked at in detail with this plan. I will go through some of the basic aspects of this plan in front of you. What you have on the screen here is, on the right side is more orienting you to the site. So you see the existing gas station site, which is kind of overtake the dominant frontage here is the gas station, pumps, and the small store. What you're seeing on the left side is the proposed use. And I like to show the landscaping plan whenever I get a chance, because I'm a big fan of landscaping, but also it's kind of the cherry on top. It shows all the site design plus the building, plus the landscaping. So this plan you see is an excerpt of the landscaping plan with the buildings outlined a little thicker. So what you see here is the convenience store, and I said the size of that, as well as the pumps for the gas. And then there's also 10 stacking spaces at the drive-through, which will wrap around the storefront like so. There's also setbacks of 75 feet from the front lot line on Hagerty Road, as well as 25 feet on the sides and 15 feet on the rear. You see that the existing driveways will be narrow, so that what that does is it controls access and makes it a little bit less haphazard when people are driving into the site, but it also helps this site to meet the standard for having the driveways be 100 feet off the intersections. There will also be cross access. As you might know, the property adjacent to this, we sometimes call the triangle piece. It's a large undeveloped parcel, and we want to plan for the future where it may be developed. We have no idea at this time what it will be developed as, although in the master plan it calls for an office future land use. It's zoned commercially, so it could be any number of things, but we want to make sure that there's good cross access to whatever grows there, so that there is not a abundance of turning movements at many different driveways on these two fairly busy roads. It'll allow there to be access from this gas station site to the adjacent sites, so that there can be control and sharing of pathways through the different sites. So there is cross access on what you see is the left side of the screen here at the west end of the site, as well as at the northeast end of the site. There are 2 RV parking spaces because this is close enough to the freeway interchange there of I-94 and 275 that there needs to be the parking for RVs. There's also 24 parking spaces for everyday customers, as well as I said earlier, 10 stacking spaces for the drive-through. Those parking demands are prompted by a combination of things, including that there's going to be a little bit of food service. There's going to be parking demands prompted by the gas pumps, by the fuel pumps. And for the small amount of retail area in the store, there's also a demand for parking spaces. I'll speak a little bit on landscaping before I move into the next and last image, which is the architecture of the building. The landscaping will include, where is it here? I had the numbers on my paper. I know there's 41, there we go, 41 trees, 150 shrubs. And so it's a significant landscaping plan that meets the ordinance. And lastly, I'll show you the proposed architecture of the building, which will be primarily brick, limestone, glass, and metal panel roofing. What I'd like to do now is speak briefly on some of the conditions of approval that were imposed as part of the planning and engineering comments for this project, and then I'll talk about what the next steps are. There are a number of engineering comments, so I think I'll just go into summary format to talk about those, because this step of the review process is for conceptual engineering feasibility review. And so there are a lot of engineering items that still need to be worked out at this stage. There's an entire engineering application that's to be submitted and reviewed by the Wayne County Department of Public Services, as well as by the Township, to check between those two agencies. We're checking the utility design in terms of water and sanitary sewer, checking stormwater, checking soil erosion, and checking the grading on the site. So there's a lot of design that goes into all those things. Some of the more significant issues are how the water formally gets to the site. This is a site that's served by water leads that seem to extend from the neighboring properties. So there is some work that needs to be done in terms of sanitary and water main. Either the mains will need to be extended or easements will need to be secured from the neighboring property to validate those lines. And then, of course, the details of stormwater review are yet to come as well. With the planning comments, there was a lot of work done over the course of the 2 review meetings to meet the planning comments. So those comments, the conditions can be summarized as: the applicant needs to confirm the number of employees on the peak shift as being just 3 employees, because that's going to impact the parking demand on the site. The planning comments also defer to the fact that there needs to be stormwater approval by the Township and Wayne County. The lights will need to be flush with the canopy of the fueling station pumps, so that they don't spill light onto the neighboring properties. There will need to be the depiction of the signage and details of the signage. One of the big items that came out of the Planning Commission's review is that the large pole sign will need to be removed because that is a non-conforming sign. And as customary with any full redevelopment of a site like this, when a building is actually being demolished, there's a requirement that non-conforming signs are removed. So that is one of the big conditions of this effort by the Planning Commission. And on the flip side of that, there will be, I think, excellent visibility to the site, even without that pole sign, because there's generous wall sign allotments in our zoning ordinance, as well as the allowance for a monument sign. Also, last comment on the planning side was that there was a discussion with the Planning Commission to decide if the roof material shown here was acceptable. We pushed the Planning Commission to consider an asphalt roof, which is more of a traditional look. The Planning Commission accepted that a metal roof could be appropriate if appropriate colors are selected. They think it might be a more durable material. So that was the items and conditions of the Planning Commission's review. And as I briefly said, the next steps are going to be, if the Township Board recommends approval tonight, that the project plans will go in front of Wayne County and the Township for engineering review prior to going back in front of the Planning Commission for final site plan review at a later date. Again, I do have the applicant here to answer any questions. And at this time, I'll stop sharing my screen unless you would like to look at these images in more detail. So thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about this, and I'm glad to answer any
As
questions.
always, extremely detailed. Very, very, very great job. And so I guess I'm going to go to Treasurer Bud. Do you want to make comment on this since your committee? You're on mute.
The Planning Commission was glad to look at this. Platty brought it back. There was some time constraints and they were explained. So the Planning Commission is happy with it. The site's been there a long time. There's been some disrepair and things going on there. So this is certainly going to be a much better addition to that. And we're kind of anxious for them to get going and have a building there that's nice looking.
Clerk Wright?
Yeah, I agree with Treasurer Bud. This is a long time coming. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Nasser for bringing this forward. It's going to be a good look for the community coming off of the I-94 corridor. Hopefully we can get Hagerty Road repaired this year. So it'll be a good look. I guess the question, if you have an answer, is that what is considered for the drive-through? Do you have a consideration yet, or is it just ongoing?
You've asked a question, right?
Yeah, that's a question, yes.
Was for me. I mean, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
I said, what's the consideration for the drive-through window?
Really, we don't know yet what kind of business or I mean, fast food that we're gonna get there, but definitely there is no seating. It's gonna be a fast food restaurant, and if they see it's convenient for them to put one in, then they'll do. Sometimes I've seen it a lot that they don't put it in there, but these days you need to put a fast food restaurant and gas stations because sometimes the gas business is not everything in there.
Through the chair. So my question is, how long will this take to build? And could you give our residents who aren't familiar with the area so much as to where specifically this is? Now, are you tearing down a building, or is this a complete, it says a rebuild?
Actually,
and has there been a traffic study done?
this is a complete, I mean, rebuilt gas station. We're taking the building, canopy, everything even out and putting in new. Normally a project, I did several for the past 2 years, project like this. I can give you an example nearby. There is one project, gas station, 4,000 square feet at 75 and West Road in Woodhaven. It took me about 100 days to complete the full 1 acre project. And it was expedited at the end of the season. We started in September. We gave turn-in key and we opened for business by December. So projects like this, if we have no hiccups from any counties or cities or MDOT, then everything goes smooth. We can expedite in 3 to 4 months, something like that.
Okay, great. This is a natural destination retail location, and it's going to provide an economic boost to our community. This is wonderful to have this service available for our residents. Convenience stores or stop and shops are, you can run in and get that bag of dog food or that cough medicine for a cold. And, you don't have to go through Meijer. It takes longer to get through Meijer because they have such a large product. So this is easy in and out. That's great. It'll boost the economy. Is this also a business or a chain? Is this a chain convenience store that we're putting in, or is this a local businessman?
I would not say it's a chain like 7-Eleven or
right.
No, it's not. But I know that Safidin Oil, they do own over 50 gas station, but they're not chain, but it's an own gas station. Like an individual owner.
Awesome, because we like local business to go in and something our community can support. So with that being said, you're going to be very busy at that corner. I know this has been in the works for a very long time. So how will this affect traffic? I'm seeing 10 pumps here. That's wonderful to have it in this location. How will traffic be affected by this? That's a very busy corner in the morning. Has anyone looked at it yet, or are we too early in the stages?
Actually, this was an existing gas station with 12 with 6 dispensers and 12 pumps, and it was more complicated corner for the traffic, and now we did a different design, us and the city, with the help of the planning department. We met all the requirement, and we eliminated whatever they wanted from approaches, so we cannot put anybody in harm with the traffic on that cross section. And we did have a new pump dive in, so it would make circulation more easier and less complex than it was before.
Great. So there was a traffic. I don't know if it was a traffic study, so the traffic was looked at. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. We're excited to have this.
Are there any questions?
To the chair. I just like to welcome them aboard and say that it'll be a great addition to service our residents, and we look forward to working with you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Through the chair.
Sorry.
That was me. Through the chair, if I could. I think Trustee Miller had a good question about just making sure the folks watching this have a good orientation to the site. So, and I misspoke. I think I said 94.75. That obviously wasn't right. I had 275 on my mind. It was parallel, but we're obviously talking about the 94 and Hagerty Road interchange, where the BP gas station is. And so this is just a little bit of a higher level view. So if you're familiar with the BP gas station, and of course, this is the old mobile site across the street from the BP, and the North Service Drive continues here. So it does have the potential to have, it's a fairly high traffic road. It's a highway interchange. But as Mr. Choquer said, it was an existing gas station. It's actually going to have a couple fewer pumps, if I'm not mistaken. So like for like use, and we hope that as this, if this area continues to grow, then these sites will plug in together and we'll have good access management that'll help to diffuse the traffic around this area. So while a detailed traffic study wasn't done, this being a similar use as what was there before, and there being good circulation on the site plan, we hope that it will mitigate any.
Okay. So I have a motion for approval by Treasurer Bud. I have a second by Trustee Frazier. Hearing no further discussion, Clerk Wright, would you call the roll?
Yes, Treasurer Bud,
Yes, for Treasurer Bud.
Trustee Frazier,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Boyden.
Yes.
Yes for me. Supervisor McNair.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Nasser.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks.
Welcome. Welcome to
Have
our
a nice,
community.
have a nice day, night. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Continuing on, we have no reports today. We have now on to the public comment where anybody wishing to make a comment from the audience can go first. Is there anybody from the audience that wishes to make a comment?
Supervisor, we have a Rick Williams who would like to make a comment. Rick, you should be able to talk now.
Okie doke. First question is, when are the meetings coming back to the Township Hall?
By requirement at this time, in July, unless the state pushes that back again. But right now, June 30th is the last date we can meet privately, unless they change it.
Okay, good deal. Next question. Tax abatements for residents.
There
How
are
about-
no tax. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I said, how about, yeah, I mean, you can give tax abatement to a business, so you should be able to give them to residents as well. So
Okay,
why don't you help us out, COVID?
Okay, we can give, we only can give, okay, so if you pay 20 mils in taxes, you're only paying Van Buren 7 of those. You're actually your tax bill from Van Buren is probably around 45 mils. Of that 45 mils, only 7 mils of it comes from Van Buren. Because of that, the state of Michigan decides who gets tax abatements. For some reason, though, they let us rubber stamp it or initiate it. The only people they let us give it to are industrial sites, not warehousing sites, not mobile gas stations, not Meyer gas stations, not residents, only industrial. And they force us to give those out. And that's where those taxes came from.
Well, out of the 7 mils, I'll take 3.5 back. How about that?
Love to give it to you. We actually tried with the stimulus money, but the federal government said we are not allowed to give back tax dollars.
Well, then how about just cut our tax dollars and rather than give it back?
You have the lowest taxes in Wayne County in Van Buren Township. Actually, Sumter is lower than us by about $0.5 mil.
Through the chair, is there a hardship, Mr. Williams? Maybe
No,
we know about that
Yeah.
we could work something out?
no, there's not. No, it'd be good faith for the township to help their residents out during the COVID crisis.
We'd like to, but like I said, that was the very first thing we came up with to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, you gave the employees like hazard pay. So I mean,
We did.
you know, if there's money to go around. I mean, there should be money to go around to the residents as well. So
Yeah, we wrote a grant and we received money to give our frontline people hazard pay.
okay, no grants for residents though, right?
No, we actually could give them out to groups of residents that can show hardship. An example would be maybe disabled veterans, which, maybe we might consider that. We have not received any of this money, by the way, and we're only told what they think that we can do with it. So we don't have any definitive knowledge of what we can do with it yet.
All right. One more question.
Okay.
Ford property, is it huntable?
No.
Does any employee of the township have permission?
I'm sorry. What property? It phased out. Whose property?
The old Ford property.
Any
Oh.
town property
Oh.
isn't huntable.
No.
Township?
Is it?
No, it's not huntable. Is somebody hunting it? Yeah, I walk through there and I see blinds.
But
So
does
I
any
do- I do
township
look at the
employee
cover.
have permission to hunt it? Because
No,
the supervisor has the authority to grant permission.
I do. Well, I don't know if I do. I haven't. So,
So you're telling me no township employee has permission to hunt that property?
That's right.
honestly, they have no permission. I have
All right.
that's in writing.
Okey doke.
Okay.
Is there someone out there hunting?
There's a
I
rumor
see
going
blinds back
around.
in there.
Is
There's
there someone? Do you know of someone definitively? Do you know
I've-
of someone that is out there hunting?
Not definitively, just good
It's
source.
just a rumor.
If you want to contact me privately, that would be better than doing it on YouTube.
All righty.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Because this is litigious if it otherwise.
Well, that's why I didn't mention any names. So
You're smart. Thank you. Okay. Anybody? Any other questions? Hearing none. Does the board have any comments that they would like to make?
I make a motion to adjourn.
That's a motion. I have a motion by Ms. Miller,
Support.
support by Mr. Boynton.
Yes.
Hearing no opposition, we are adjourned.
Good night, everyone.